greetings and salutations. Ben and Charles here, you right about there, and this is the Sunday Night hanging right here on Sundays, because, well, that's the way it is. So, if you knew,
Sunday, right?
You're returning, welcome back. Saying earlier today on Chat with Charles, also that's the Chat with Charles Greene, but the other Charles 75M right there in the chat, he said, I think this is the sweet 16th appearance of Charles Greene on the channel.
Has it been that many?
I think
16,
it's around
really?
In and around there. Yeah.
Wow. I know that we've accumulated the most hours of any YouTube show I've been on, I believe, as far as guest appearances.
Right.
Not counting anything, with Fruitcake Tony, Halenville and all that. That's obviously a lot of YouTube time.
Sure.
But, or this, coincidentally, Fruitcake Tony, show me your pick, man.
Right.
But
so far, folks,
so
and they're already asking, their experts are all, is the StreamYard fixing? Well, so far his echo cancellation is still disabled. I just checked, so in theory it's there, and I'll even live if he keeps reading. I'll check it while he's playing, folks. So yes, Charles is going to play a song or two for us as well, because it's basically Pete Thorne, me, and Charles play on this channel. That's
wow.
It. So
wow.
It's a short list.
Oh my goodness.
That Pete Thorne guy seems to do okay.
Yeah, that Pete Thorne guy, he's not too shabby, I'll tell you what. Hey, thanks for having me back, Ben. Seriously. I work just stupid hours nowadays. I missed Ryan's show again today. I missed the boys. I didn't get in here until about 35 minutes ago, scrambling to make this. And not to put any pressure on me, anything, Ben, but a couple of days ago, Ben says to me, sends me this little text. He goes, by the way, there's this band. I won't say the band right here. I'll just make it a surprise. But he goes, this band, I'd love you to play a song from them. And, I knew a song by these guys, three of them over the years, but I haven't come to them and to literally think of playing a song by them very seriously in quite a while.
Well, I just remember having a conversation and me saying they're one of my favorite bands, and you saying as well.
Mine too. I would say it literally started it all for me. And so I want to say I'm really glad, first of all, Ben, that you asked me about that. Because once you did, I started thinking about it. I've learned 3 of their songs over the years. I don't remember all 3 now. But I'll play one. I learned it kind of spare of the moment. It's a little rough, but considering the genre and the band we're talking about, it just might, as long as I don't miss any major notes, it'll be all right, I think. I hope so. Let's hope StreamYard holds up.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could play another one. Yeah. I don't have any agenda. Ben may have. He and
I have a limited agenda. I have a limited agenda.
Yeah.
Well, we already got 50 people in here. That's nice.
You're kidding. Wow.
No. Yeah.
Hey, how'd your show go with Charles? I missed your show with Charles today.
It was a complete train wreck, thanks to my sister barging in and taking over. Apparently, when she does a takeover, she literally shows up and takes over.
It might be a train wreck for you, but she probably gave the whole show scope and vision. It was probably a really good thing, man. Your sister's incredibly interesting. Man, it's cool, man. She's right.
And we should probably get we got a bunch of people in the chat. We should probably do a roll call real quick here. And I see first in the chat is Matt from McCollum Music, followed by our good friend Charles 75N.
Hey Charles, man, right on, dude.
And we got
right there, man.
Cushman NYC.
Right there.
Sir William of Bologna the Third. Great to see Billy.
Right on, Billy.
Terry's 3Gs.
Hey, Terry.
Elbar J.
Hey, Elbar.
Lee. Patrick Trites.
Good to see
Bird Burple's here as well.
Ferd. Right on, Ryan. Right on, bro.
Who else we got here? There's Hip Metal Works.
It's good to see
friend brother Randy Crooks out of Iowa. Just got himself a new Washburn guitar.
Love Washburns. Right on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Who said you can't shred on a Washburn?
Ask Nuno. Dastardly Dave.
Right on, Dave. It's good to see you, bro.
Blue Mox
Right
is
on, man.
here. Awesome.
It's good to see you, Blue. Right on.
Michael Kraus is here. All right, fine. Hi, Mike. He's just here
Right
to
on,
troll
Michael.
me.
Right on, bro.
I thought you unsubbed me, Mike. No, he said in my Charles chat earlier today, he goes, I subbed Amanda, so I unsubbed Ben. I can only be subbed to one Coombs at a time.
Hey, sometimes you got to set your limitations. What are you going to do, man?
I get it.
What are you going to do?
There's
At least he
BC Rich
shows
581.
Right on, BC Rich. Good to see you, man.
Who do we got else here? Steve Reeser. See, Charles, I can do it.
Right on, Steve.
Yeah,
It's
when
good
I
to see you,
read
bro.
Steve.
Right on, Steve, man.
Greasy Monkey Guitars.
Right on.
Apparently,
Excellent.
someone does watch Charles on replay. He says, apparently, I'm an action figure. Yo, Chatosphere. What's up, unfucking believable?
Right on, brother.
We may have shown off an action figure of him earlier today. Eddie Fay is here.
It's good to see you, Eddie. Right on, man. Eddie Rock.
Eston Ray is here. That's all the E's.
Hey, Aston, right on.
Yeah. Let's see here. They're all saying hey to each other. Scrolling. That's 8:02. Oh, we're only 7 minutes behind in the chat. That's fine, though, because I went right to the very beginning. The voice of Cornhole is here. Great to see you, Donnie.
Right on, bro.
Co-hosts the Saturday Hang on my cousin Doug's channel. What's up, Jimmy? Jimmy Biter in the house, folks.
It's good to see you, Jimmy. Right on, brother.
There's Stephen Munch Michelli,
Right on, bro.
recent guest of Chatting with Charles. And been showing up at some water buffalo meetings. What in the Mitch Heyman is Mitch Heyman doing here? What's up, Mitch?
Right on, man. That's my partner in crime. He will only do the misdemeanors, and, well, he really won't do those. But
Professional digital knower of her. Knower of
tell
her?
you what.
Sure, we'll go with that. He knows
Let me
digitals
tell you
almost
what.
as many as Matt. Matt knows a lot of digitals, too. And then we got
Right on.
Martian Murray,
Right on,
who's
Mitch.
neither Martian nor Murray, but we still love him.
Right on, brother. It's good to see you, man.
Actually missed Murray at the last couple water buffalo meetings. I'm just
You
saying.
missed me at the last few water buffalo meetings. I mean, I love
I
you. I'm
wasn't
missing
gonna
everything.
throw you
That
under the
sucks.
bus.
It fucking sucks, man. Let me just say it like that.
Yep. Well, this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
I've been getting in at like 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:10.
We're going to be going till 10. So I'm just saying. We'll be going till
if
10.
you guys are going to be until 10, I will jump in and I will spend some time and say hello to everyone and listen to you guys for a while and get caught up. If you're literally going to be on for that long Wednesday, you got it.
Well, see,
brother.
that's one of the
I'm
things.
glad you told me that.
We usually will go 2 or 3 hours, Charles, because, like, it's transient. Like, it'll say it'll be 20, 22 people constantly. But really, it was 35, 40 people over the course of that much time, but it was consistently around 20.
Yeah.
We got Absolute Mayhem in the chat. Great to see you, Wayne.
Man. Right on, bro.
Guitar Man 45. What's up, Bo?
Hey, Bo, it's good to see you, man. Say hello to the wife, bro. Right on,
Zach
man.
Thong in the house.
Zach, you rock.
He does.
Zach's awesome, dude.
Mark Spurgeon.
Wait a minute. Just a quick question. I know I run into Zach at the Water Buffalo meetings.
Yes.
That's where I run into Zach. Mm-hmm. When's the last time Zach was on a show playing guitar?
That's a good question.
Or at least showing his guitars off and talking shop. I don't personally remember seeing him lately. And Zach, I'm not calling you out. I'm just mentioning you because I do that to people in the chat arbitrarily.
Zach is one of these guys. He's a lurker during the Buffalo meets. He'll sit there, but then as soon as something comes up, point of reference, like you say, hey, Zach, we'll start talking. You watch. He'll be sitting there just kind of noodling, listening away as we go, because there is half of us got a guitar in her lap. And as soon as someone starts talking acoustic, I'll see it. He'll perk up, and then it's like, "Can I see that?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, here, no problem." Boom, boom. He's got his name inlaid in the fretboard. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Oh.
I am okay. So, just arbitrarily, just as a thought here, talking about acoustic. You brought it up, Ben. Your words, okay? You talked about acoustical guitar just now.
Yep.
Right now, I don't even own one that is playable. I have one that is a work-on guitar that I've had for years. I'm trying to save. It was a rescue, and I've kind of just let it sit around. You know how that happens. I mean, shit. I'm preaching to the choir here, talking to the choir, and but there's a couple of bands, and we're incorporating some of their songs into our little list of stuff we do.
Sure.
And once I get a MIDI pedal on the floor to interact with what I'm doing, because I'm digital at this point, I'm going to throw a MIDI pedal down on the floor. That way I can take delay on and off, and I can throw on an acoustical patch,
Right.
and or an acoustic guitar patch is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on playing some acoustic guitar here in the future.
I
mean,
love
not
that
next
idea.
week, but it is on a list of stuff to do.
I love that idea.
It's going to happen. And just, back to Zach. Zach, I know you love your acoustic. I would like to see you in the chat here a little more, eye to eye with some of us, at least on a show for the future, so we can catch up. Because you are to say Zach is a faithful member of this family is a flippin' understatement.
Understatement.
And I have seen him for 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
Personally. So it would be really cool, Zach. I'm just shouting out to you, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off, though, Ben. I know you were doing the
Dave was correct. It actually started with my cat invading the show before my sister. And then as the cat was leaving, my sister came over. So that happened. Then we got Steve Cassidy guitar. What?
Good to see
Scotland represent. Just saying. And yeah, I called. I said after Charles' show, I said, I wonder where Bo is. He's probably doing wedding stuff. And my sister's like, oh, really? I was like, oh, yeah. Actually, we mentioned it on the show. That was part of the show. Well, you'll hear it, Charles. Then we got Lucky Sevens, alternative rock band.
Right on.
Brantford, Ontario. Marcel LeBlanc. Great to see you, Marcel.
Right on,
He's
Marcel.
been known to hang at a Buffalo meeting recently.
Very cool.
Yeah. Who else do we have? Tim Thomas is here. Great to see Tim.
It's good to see you, Tim. Right on, brother.
Who else? Earl. Earl's late. He's usually, it was first in the chat, but got deleted. Haha. What are we drinking? I got some Jamaican grape pop.
Earl, it's good to see you, brother. Right on, man. You said something really nice about me in the chat earlier. I happened to scroll by it. Thank you. You absolutely rock, Earl. I appreciate you, bro. Right on, man.
All right, scrolling ahead. All right, we got, yep. Because we're up to 55 watching, so I'm like, all right, everyone's saying hey to each other. And William De Silva's here. Awesome.
Good to see you, William. Right on, William. Very cool, man.
Well, okay. Well, we're getting there. Faye, yep. All right, yep. They're all saying hey to each other. I just don't want to miss it. Oh, there's Wayne McConnell. What's up, Wayne?
Right on, man.
And that's it. Boom. We're caught up. Perfect.
Excellent. Right on, man.
Right, Blue Mox? No, I left the door unlocked. That was the problem. I left the door unlocked. And she just wandered right in. Lee says my market store or grocery store, I guess, got rid of my most of the root beers. Very unhappy. That's terrible. Unbelievable asks, should I upgrade? Speaking acoustic, should I upgrade from a Yamaha to an Ovation Viper EA68? No. Speaking of someone that's been in an acoustical mood lately, the last 3 weeks of demos have been acoustic guitars. Partially, Charles, because I'm kind of in the market for an acoustic guitar. I have one acoustic and one classical already, neither of which have onboard electronics or pickups to be able to perform live with it without miking it. Plus, they're both vintage guitars made in the 70s. And unlike electric, gigging with a vintage electric's cool. Gigging with a vintage acoustic is a whole other situation to deal with because you're dealing with microphones and certain fragility of the guitar, I'll say, is a little greater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Zach's like, I pay electric too. All right. But I'm working on getting set up, and I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm going to make it daily on any show and play guitar. The show has to be Oh You Wait 1 2. And I agree, because Zach is such a community member, Charles. He has to do the community jam.
That's absolutely right. That is cast in stone. Absolutely.
Yep. I fully agree.
Absolutely. So there is an option acoustically, though, that is kind of cool, but it is not the same. Okay.
Right.
Having an acoustic here, an electric acoustic. Let's say it's got an internal mic, and I can run it through a nice, real good, clean guitar patch. I can, do it all digitally here on the computer, and I would get a certain sound, and it would be great. It really would. But I can also pull up an acoustic patch of the most luscious, creamy. It's not real. Okay,
well, I know.
It's not real.
Yeah, like I got the mini pedal that will change all of my electrics into an acoustic.
Yes.
Yep. Because I like that. Someone will say, like, I want to hear Slayer. I'm like, well, you're going to hear it on a Takamine acoustic, or something.
Well, it has a certain something to it that I like. I mean, I like it. And so to be able to literally step on a patch and turn one of these into an electric acoustic sound to utilize, possibly not necessarily for a whole song, but maybe for 12 bars or something, or maybe for maybe just a little segment or something in the song.
Exactly.
I got a bunch of stuff that I'm working on, and I need an acoustic.
You do
or
have
I'm
to
going to sit and do this. I'm going to sit and do this, or I can, for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then step on a button, and I could play it. And so that's something that I'm having fun with.
Yeah.
I'm working it out and trying to see if it works. Not everything works that I think I'm going to work out, but I do have fun messing with stuff.
That's the whole point, isn't it? Have fun.
I've been very fortunate. I haven't played it yet, but okay.
There's two reasons I learned to play guitar, Charles, was to have fun and to get laid. And at this point in life, I'd rather have fun.
Well, you also wanted to make some money. But if only 2 out of 3, it's not bad. Okay, take your 2.
Well,
okay?
Not that
guitar player with lots of money gets laid all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to have a balance in life. I don't know.
Yeah, I never made. I didn't make rock star money, but there was a point in time where, like, that was my living. What do you do for a living? I play in a band. No, seriously, what's your day job? No, that's all I did for 2 years was played music.
Yeah.
And when it came time where I was getting, a little short on cash, what do I thought? Rather than getting a day job, Charles thought, no, I'll join a cover band to play on the downtime to make more money.
Right?
Yeah.
2 bands, more money. I hear you. I like
because
your
cover
math.
bands made more money too. I'm not going to lie. Because generally, if you're playing original music, you're playing one set. You're not playing 4 sets at a bar.
Yeah. Now, that's something I've never, ever got to experience. I don't know. I always make the joke. It would be nice at my age. I'm 63. I've still got, I'll put it this way. I can stand up and play a guitar for an hour still. Let's put it that way.
That's nice.
It's a little painful. It is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to act like, it's no big deal. No, it's a big freaking deal.
It is. I can't do it anymore, Charles. I'm going to tell you right here.
Do it,
I can't play a 1 hour set straight through. Like I need a lot of crowd work, banter. I need the other guitar player to possibly break a string.
How about something to lean on? Go over there and lean on something like the drum riser.
Can I be like SRB and play sitting down? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, time for an alien. Good to see you.
Right on, alien. It's good to see you, man. Right on, brother. Hey, Mark
I'm
Spurgeon.
working on that
bro.
again. Last summer I got up to about 45 minutes of playing. I could do. What's up, James 5150?
I've never really done that. Sir, have I done it? Yeah, but have I done it like one song to the next song to the next song live? No.
Yeah, I'm more like I noodle on something for a few minutes, switch to something else. Noodle. Playing song much like I'll do on a Monday. Like I'm not going to play the whole song. I'm going to play a song, verse, lyric, or verse, chorus, verse, Maybe
Yeah.
if I'm having fun, that's how you know I'm having fun, because I'll play damn near the whole song. But if I'm not, I'll play enough that you guys know what it is, or if.
Yeah.
And because I'm not a jukebox, it'd be like, can you play this song? No, but I might know this other song by the same band, or
There you go.
something
There you
that's
go.
in maybe the same genre that's close. Eric Combs.
I noticed.
What's up, bud?
Yeah, I noticed Eric says no shame in sitting down. Absolutely not, man. Just play guitar, dude. Absolutely. Acoustic guitar players can take a stool though and go put it in front of a mic and sit down and play acoustic. And for some reason, it's totally okay.
Well, this
Totally
is the
okay,
thing. Is
right?
I was supposed to go see a friend play. He plays acoustic and sings back up to this lady that he accompanies. Okay. And he's like, yeah, come out and hear us play. I was like, okay. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to come out. And as I was apologizing, he goes, yeah, come out and you'll see if you want to jam sometime. I'm like, dude, I'd love to jam. Like I've been friends with this guy 30 some odd years at this point, I want to say.
Yeah.
He's been on the channel. He's been alumni of the Sunday Night Hang, one of the few in-house guests I've had, my buddy Ben Thompson. And he's like, yeah, and then he's half joking. He goes, well, I have been looking to expand. I'd like to have 2 guitars and and I can sing harmony as well. So it would add to which I would rather, like, I don't want to be the front guy, Charles. I don't want to do all the booking. I don't want to do, if anything, all of a sudden, because the whole thing I said was like, I really don't want to gig anymore because I don't want to schlep a bunch of gear, and have my back thrown out before I even get a chance to play a note or something stupid. I'd much rather. Then all of a sudden, this idea where, oh wait, you mean I just show up with an acoustic and a patch cable? Maybe a mic stand and a mic? Maybe.
There you go. Yeah.
Now, see, and then all of a sudden, but the problem is I don't have an acoustic with the digitals inside to be able to out, because I had one that I used to perform on stage with and I sold to Mark Taft. So he has that.
Well, Mark is benefiting now. I hope.
And so one of the reasons I've been demoing acoustics lately is because if anyone that goes into a music store or browse online and pays attention to note, most of them all have preamps of some kind and pickups or mics or combination thereof. So
yeah.
And so I'm kind of in the market for that because I could justify it in my head. I might not play it all the time, but it'll start paying for itself because I can gig with it. And they just play one set at the local brewery, pub, or no, 2. Get this, Charles, get this. We're playing Friday night, 7 until 9. I'm like, wait, whoa. 7 until 9? So and the place is just down the road, like, so I can be home by 9:30 at night, so I can actually gig and still be home by 9:30 at night. What?
That's unrealistic.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, that's not even. I remember last time I saw Mean Street, Van Halen cover band, North Carolina's premier Van Halen cover band. Shout out to Jay Turner and the boys. They are so good live. I can't say that enough. They were doing shows here in, well, it wasn't here, it was in Salisbury, so it's about 30 minute drive for me. 35 minutes to get to Salisbury.
That's true. Yeah, I know it. I know the area.
Well, they deal with the same thing, but at the end of the night, which I noticed this and I realized what a sacrifice they made to be there. Some of them came up from South Carolina on the coast. Others came from the coast in North Carolina to Salisbury. So you got a couple of hours.
Yeah.
They had to get there early and get set up for what ended up being a couple of hour show. Okay, 2 sets. A couple of hours of music spread out over 2.5 hours.
There he is.
Something
There's
like
Ryan.
That. Ryan, I love you, brother. Right on, man. And at the end of the night, I, jumped up and I was talking to everybody for 10, 15 minutes and taking pictures with some people and making memories. And I left. And then they, along with Fruitcake Tony on that night, by the way, who was their roadie, he played roadie with them that night, broke down all their equipment and had to load it out and then drive back. They didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
And so that, That's a lot of work.
Mhm.
That is a regular job. I'll
Mhm.
say it just like that. That's not
It is.
being a musician and hanging out for a couple of hours and like doing your thing. That's working your butt off to do something you love and then working your butt off to get back to where you came from.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for that. Quite
I,
literally.
I'm fortunate, I guess, in the sense that more often than not, when I was playing in the clubs in Toronto, I was the headline act, but I didn't go on stage till midnight, Charles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's and and so you go on stage at midnight, you're going to play 90 minutes, so that's 1:30. Like say, there's going to be 15 minutes or so. Well, get off stage for 5. Kind of catch your breath. Then okay, do the little meet and greet for 10 minutes, and then immediately start tearing down the gear because we got to drive over 100 miles back home out of the city. It's 2
So
hours.
that's
You
a
know,
commitment right there. That's a huge commitment.
yeah. So like say, and you want to eat at some point, so you're going to stop at a
Wait,
truck
that's
stop.
what Waffle Houses are made for here
Right.
in the
So
States. That's all I'm going to say.
really, you're
Right?
not getting home till 5. And the joke was
Randy.
always, I hope I fall asleep before the sun comes up or the birds start chirping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And inevitably, I shit you not, Charles, you get home, your head would just hit the pillow for maybe 10 seconds, and you're chirp, 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 because all the songbirds are out.
Yeah.
It's just that you're like, oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I hear you.
And you're up by 11 in the morning because you can't sleep because life's going on and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what you do.
So, Randy Crooks asked the question: was I at the whiskey during the Guns N' Roses thing? Guns N' Roses came in. So Tracy Guns. I remember Tracy. He was young and he was just getting involved in the original Guns N' Roses along with Axl.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Slash before Guns N' Roses. He was
John
just
Dawson.
like this punk kid who ran with a bunch of. I mean, he wasn't Slash in those days. In my eyes, there was no. He was called Slash. He had the name Slash.
He would have been running around.
He was not a. I mean, he was just some dude, man, in a band. But the hype began right about the middle of '82, the beginning to the middle of '82, and grew from there for Guns N' Roses. So I left the whiskey just before all of that. I also left the whiskey just before the major rise of Rat. They were there, but the rise of Rat, that Motley Crue rise, occurred. Well, it started when I was there, but it really hit its pinnacle 6-8 months after I was gone, to be quite frank. Hey, who's that? Amanda? Amanda, yeah. I gotta watch the show. You and Ben took over, man. I can't wait. That's totally cool, Amanda.
74 watching. Hit the like, folks. Helps a fella. Just saying.
Right on.
And maybe one of my moderators could put a link to Charles' channel in the chat. Yeah, Charles does a show too, folks. We've been alluding to it. Oh, all the gas all of a sudden. So if you could you please, one of you put the link to Charles' channel in the chat, and one of the folks, if you're not already subbed, give him a sub. I'm just saying. I'm saying he's too nice to ask. He's too nice to ask.
I appreciate that so much, Mitch. Mitch Heyman is my partner, and he's really the reason that I have a channel that is. I got a pretty cool channel, and it's only because Mitch Heyman. We've got some good theme graphics that he's done, and we like to do shout-outs to the community, which we do on a regular basis. Right. He has helped set up a format to do that visually. And it's just really cool, and I cannot
baby steps,
take
Mike.
Any credit for that. I got to give Mitch major shout-outs. I just got to say, I love that guy.
Well, Munch right just rubbed. Awesome.
Right on.
I'm sure it's been asked, but Cheech asked. What's up, Cheech? By the way,
right on, Cheech.
Did you ever meet Randy Rhoads?
Yeah, I saw Randy.
Okay.
Randy was really good friends with a group of punks. Susie and Gwen, my fiance, I've told a lot of stories on this channel about those two girls. They knew him real well. They ran with a crowd where they knew him for like 3 to 4 years. The original lineup, with him and Kevin Dubrow and Quiet Riot. So they were big fans. And they were very close friends. They took it really hard when he passed away. They cried for days. It was fucking horrible. I remember it. just like it was yesterday too.
Well, I thought he was
know,
like very much part of the scene because
yeah. Well, he was very quiet. He was not loud or boisterous. He wasn't a big guy. He was very unassuming. If you didn't realize the guitar prowess he had, you might have just thought he was just some regular dude. Seriously, but sadly missed. I be honest. I was a huge Randy Rhoads fan. I am a huge Randy Rhoads fan. I can hear his footprint on a lot of guitar players. I heard it for a decade after he passed, even though I heard some guys in denial about it. I heard some people actually talking shit about his tone and about his guitar ability. I find that
great ability. I will, in all fairness,
baffling.
First album, questionable tone on the first album.
I agree. But it was
but
not
that
in
album
his
was
hands.
made on the cheap too, Charles.
It
like
was
for those
not
who don't
in
know,
his hands.
very much like Motley Crue's first album, right? Because
Yes,
let's be honest, the first album before it re-released by Columbia, aka CBS, it was released on Jet Records. Who's Jet Records?
Leather Records, leather. Yeah.
So
leather. So
there was that.
And there's, it's not like it was Randy's choice. It's not like he stood in that recording room like this and went, you know what, he didn't analyze shit. He was a tool. He was used. Sharon Osbourne probably had more input over the tone and the outcome of that album than Randy or Ozzy, for that matter. That's possible, okay? But that being said, Randy Rhoads was a class act.
See, Doug's
everybody loved him. Everybody loved him.
For those that are wondering in the chat, so this guy, I'm going to just throw Mark Spurgeon under the bus for a moment here, Charles. My sister had mentioned during Charles' show earlier today, she's thinking about putting out some content on a channel. So she just floated an idea out to the crowd, okay? That's all it was. So Mark Spurgeon decides to put in Pete Thorne's chat. Yes, Pete Thorne's chat, Charles. Hey, Pete, do you know Amanda's got a new channel? He's like, oh, really? So he puts it up on the screen. He's like, oh, it's got to be some good stuff. And she's just dying. And then he's like, oh, you see that, Amanda? Yes, because she screams. She goes, and I went, ooh, rage.
Okay, so the glass being half full, you just got a major shout out to start your channel, Amanda, from Pete Flippin' Thorne. And his whole community knows about it. So I would jump on the bandwagon and take advantage of it and roll with it, girl. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
very cool. Because you should do a channel anyway.
She set my tinnitus right off because there was a scream and I went, and ow. And yeah. So Mark,
I know her jaw just dropped. I bet she wanted to strangle him. I know, that's cool, man.
And now he's saying every time he's laughing, he's hurting his neck and head because he's got injuries or something. So that unto itself, see, payback. That's great. Just what that is.
Great. That is great.
Yeah.
Hey Ben, let me play some guitar. Can I do that?
Okay.
Is it okay?
And I'm going to do the tease thing, like we'll do it radio stuff. Before we play the song, coming up later, I have this T-shirt on that mentions a certain concert, and I'm going to ask Charles about this concert that happened at the Santa Monica something or other Civic Auditorium, November 15th through 17th. And I know Charles, because I asked him previously on a different show, but I want to condense it because it's part of the playlist here. We're going to talk about that show coming up after Charles plays us some cool tune.
Was that the Santa Monica,
whichever you want to play.
Civic?
Yeah.
What was the date on that? Was that? What date are we talking about for the Civic? It's the 3-day.
It says Civic 3 days. Yeah, November 15th through 17th.
Okay. Yeah.
If we look on my belly here, yeah. So, are you going to play the song that's down half a step?
Well, I happen to have that guitar handy.
That's the one I'd love to hear.
It'll help me get my little gripe out of the way because, Ben Coombs' fault, you guys, okay? His words, he wanted this. He's asked for it. You poor guys are going to have to take it. It's a little rough. It's a little raw, but I got to come at it hard and heavy because it's a hard and heavy song. You'll understand that.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit one or two wrong notes, but
I may have shared the same facial hair as the front man of this band for a few years while a full-time musician. Because fun fact, when you have that kind of facial hair, Charles, you can't get a lot of day jobs. I'm just saying.
No, it definitely helps to do just one thing. That's to be a rock and roller, man. Anyway,
And remember to any
guys.
venue you ever return to. Once you play there once, all the doormen are like, right, you're the right. Come on in. Yeah, we know you. Because you're
Right
the guy
on,
with
guys.
the thing.
I'm going under. I'll be back. Let's hope this goes well.
Sounds good.
That's the way I like it, baby. I don't want to live forever. And don't forget the joke.
Right at the very last little riff there, for some reason, I got out of sync for a second. I apologize for that.
That was
It never goes perfect, but
Well,
then again,
Ed.
I don't normally play Motorhead, but there will be more. I hope that was for you, Ben Coombs. I love you, brother. That's how we
Thank
do
you.
it, man. Right
Thank you. Yeah, well, like I say, I remember we were talking on one of these hangs about your love of Motorhead, and that's kind of where it started. And
Yep.
you know, I liked him. He, and ironically enough, he was one of the few, we'll say, rock or metal artists that my dad actually kind of respected. And I wouldn't say he didn't like the music, believe me, you know, but he liked Lemmy, he liked kind of because he's like, no bullshit,
Nope.
he's the real
He
deal.
said exactly what he wanted. I have fond memories of Lemmy when he was in really good health. In 81, 82, 83,
yeah.
even early 80, they were touring a lot. in those days. So his fixture at the Rainbow Club and LA in general was not quite the same. He wasn't there for long periods of time. He was there every year for a period of time, a couple of times a year, because in those days, Motorhead lived on a tour bus.
Yeah.
Or on an airplane.
I saw Rob Cunningham pop in here. Good to see Rob.
Right on, Rob. It's good to see you,
Always
bro.
a pleasure.
Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah,
tribute to Lemmy and the Punk Rock Museum. He was as big a
drawing
from the punk crowd as The Rock.
Is your guitar signal still live, it sounds like?
Oh, hang on a second.
We're getting a little cross interference there.
Thank you for mentioning that. Let me do that.
Yeah,
that should fix it.
Perfect.
My bad. Thank
you.
Thank you.
It was almost like your guitar had the pickups turned up and it was picking us up because it was a slight echo, but it sounded almost like microphonic pickups would do that. And that's where I was like, I knew that sound.
Yeah. When the guitar's on and this mic is active, I'm running a lot of stuff through that patch. Actually, I might want to juice the gate up a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, Dazzly Dave. Lemmy was the guy that everybody liked. The rockers liked him. The metalheads liked him. The punks liked him. You know, and he dressed like a country guy. So
yeah. Very cool, man. Right on.
And like his favorite guy was like Chuck Berry. Like he and Keith Richards had the exact same taste in music, essentially. But then again, approximately the same age, right?
You know, he was just so unique. He was unique. They were the loudest damn band in the world, though, at that time. I truly believe it. They were so loud. You go to see Motorhead, you were guaranteed of two things. It was going to be hard, and it was going to be fast. Well, three things: hard, fast, and loud. That's just how it was. You know, I was drawn to it not for the musical prowess. I was drawn to it for its uniqueness. It was just cool. It wasn't like,
nobody was doing that distorted bass out front let's say the guitar and bass had equal parts rather than the bass accompanying I wouldn't even, because it turned into a lot of company where guys were just writing root notes. But prior to that, when guys were playing actual bass runs, which was more doing a vocal melody, but on bass, even. Yeah. But it was always behind the guitar. And Lemmy's like, nope, I'm the front man. It's going to be up front and center. Thank you, Ed.
There was a big, like, especially in the last several years, I know my son was involved in some of it, some of the new metal. They were dropping bass players right off there and just using a couple of guitars because everything was 8-string, 7-string, lower registry. You didn't need a bass, right?
Well, yeah, they're playing the same key anyways.
Well, so on the flip side of that, do 180 in the beginning days, like when you hear a Motorhead album in general, bass is more than half of the guitars.
Yes.
It's tracked more than, I know it is because I've gone into Moses, and actually when you do a Motorhead track in there, you see what's there. It shows you everything. Lemmy is the rhythm guitar, essentially. And the lead guitar is like frosting on the mix. Yeah.
Which is like guitar used to be, similar to saxophone, because they'd share the same space, which is you're playing catch and response with a vocal line. Sing a line, la 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 la. Sing a line, la la la.
Right on.
Harmonica, same idea. Quite often when not used as a purely lead instrument, but it would be an accompaniment. Like that's what you do. Play a little like B.B. King, prime example. Never played the chord.
Sure. Yeah.
Just
only played one key, I think, too.
Yep.
One key, his key. Is that what key was B.B. King's key? That's a good question. I was thinking of that the other day.
Year B.
I would think B. Just based on the genre of music. But possibly I don't know.
Flat, because then you can have horns. You're playing B flat with horns.
Yeah, B flat for saxophone, sure, right?
Or trumpet, or trombone.
Or trumpet. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
It's all B flat for that stuff.
Right on, man.
What's up to Richard Nagamitsu?
Right on, Richard. It's good to see you, bro.
Because I had a smoke with Lemmy outside the Rainbow a little over 20 years ago.
That's a great place to have a smoke with Lemmy, Richard. Right on, man. It's good to see you, Richard. I hadn't spoke to you in a while. It's good to see you, man. I hope all is going great. Right on, bro.
Yeah, we got
Right on,
78 people watching. It'd be cool if you hit that like and subscribed and shared this with your friends or even your enemies. That's fine. That's fine.
Spread it around.
Yeah. And apparently,
Yeah.
I noticed started sharing links to your channel. Now you have over 200 subs. Just saying.
Do I?
Yep.
Excellent. Right on. I appreciate
congrats.
that, you guys. Thank you. Evidently, we have a YouTube channel now. I don't, I break all the rules. Mitch doesn't break them, but he comes along with me and helps me to break them. Let's put it that way. And
I get that.
what was that, Ben?
I was going to say,
I
I used to have monetized live streams, but then
yeah.
I invented the virtual tip jar and stuff. And I said, for what little pittance of ad revenue I get, these fine folks, keep me in chocolate milk and soda pop or something. I don't know what they keep me in, but keep lights on. That's what I'm saying. And that way I can demonetize and do whatever the hell I want.
And it is a wonderful thing. I love Lost in Hollywood as a song. It's one of my favorite songs. It is my childhood, okay, in music. And I play it every single show, almost. I open shows once in a while with an arbitrary song, but right now, that is, for Mitch and me, that is our anthem. I'm not supposed to do that. But I'll be damned if that's not what I want to do. I want to come on. I want to play. I don't want to play to backing tracks all the time. I said something. I say stuff from time to time, and I think about it. I know we all do it, and I say, that's not really what I meant to say. I really should have said it this way. I love playing to backing tracks. I do it all the time. And now with my new guitar lessons I'm taking, I do it a lot. And I have to do it with music I don't necessarily want to listen to. It's not like I'm doing it like with the song I just played. I'm doing it to other stuff so I can broaden my horizons. So it's a little painful. But on the show, we pride ourselves in bringing you, we have come at you with like 35 different bands of music. Quite literally. I mean everything from Jethro Tull. We haven't played any Van Halen yet, but Van Halen is coming.
That's a wide berth, Charles.
When it comes time to trying to do Eddie. I don't do Eddie well, but I'm going to do some.
35 bands covers a lot of territory because generally, if there's any given genre, there ain't usually more than a dozen bands you listen to in any particular kind of genre or time frame. Because there's just too much music at that point. So
it's been a lot of music, and it's been all songs. Quite literally, this is what I play and what Mitch does. We play whatever we want. If it's a song that interests us and we love the jam or the groove or the thing or a lick or whatever, we play it. Now, I do have to kind of go through a filter process on my channel where I'll come live and I'll play 3 or 4 songs, the ones that I want to take the guitar out of, and I'll play them live on YouTube, not on a show. And if I have an issue, they give you the opportunity to go in and fix it. Now, when I fix it, I lose the chat. But I do it on off time where I'm being more of a DJ, just playing live music on YouTube. And I've kind of turned that into something I've kind of working with. So I can filter the music we bring to play live on the channel. Right. I don't like losing the chat. It's just not cool because you guys are the flipping show. Right. Okay, you guys are the show. The only way
that works, Charles, where you lose the chat on replay is like every time you interact, you have to put up like every comment. Like if you're not just everything has to be posted. Boom, boom.
Yep.
So or you do like Matt has the chat burned right in on the screen. So if you even edit it, it's still going to be there burnt in on the screen type thing.
Yes.
I don't know how he does it. Some form of digitals. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we have been incredibly successful. We have not gotten too. Good to see you, bro. Right on, Dave. We haven't gotten too much. We did have one show where I opened with one of my favorite Foreigner songs, and we went down in flames. They struck all 3 songs we played. But that's because they latched on to me for that one song, and it was there, I bought or whatever. I don't know how they do it.
I have a long-term relationship with Judas Priest at this point. multiple songs of theirs they like to claim, and that's one of the reasons I demonetize, because it's one of those things. If you tip $5, you're going to hear Judas Priest or Tom Cochrane, and there's only a handful of artists I'm not going to play because I know all of a sudden the stream will go bye immediately.
Right.
We don't play songs about commercial accommodation complexes that you can check into but may not be able. I'm not going to mention his name because he sings about laundry and stuff on occasion, but I can't do the song about the building that you may stay in that you don't own, but I can play the laundry song because he seems to be kind of cool with that, probably because I play it wrong enough that he's like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're trying. It's up Islander Winder.
But we definitely like to bring, we bring all kinds of cool bands. I bring the band music, and I like to play with that band. There's a certain coolness that I like about it. And obviously in the audio world, I just got to play guitar with frickin' Motorhead. Okay.
Right.
Essentially live on YouTube. You can think of it that way. Now,
in front of a decent sized crowd. Because
hopefully you play well, but
you've been to enough bars, Charles. 75 people, that's a good crowd in a bar.
Yeah. And if every one of them had at least 4 beers, they wouldn't have noticed the mistakes I was making. It would have been priceless.
Speaking of which, we're gonna throw your co-host under the bus. Mitch says, Charles, you gonna try and play something tonight? He already did.
I think he said that earlier, maybe. Did he just say that?
No, he just said that a minute ago. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. I slipped one in, Mitch.
Yeah.
I slipped in that Motorhead song.
Yeah. Teach us, am I a bigger Canadian music fan or American or British? Doesn't matter where they're from. If it's good music, I'll listen to it. I don't care.
Thank you. That's right. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to bringing Triumph to the table.
Nice. I was drinking from my Metalworks Studios mug on Charles' show today.
Excellent.
For those who don't know, which is owned by members of Triumph. Now just Gil, the drummer, I think owns all of it. But originally it was
talking about this whole copyright thing and all that, I have no intentions of changing. But I wish something would occur.
We soothed Mitch to sleep. He fell asleep with earbuds in.
Awesome. Don't ever change, Mitch. I love you, brother. He's awesome, dude. Look, the thing about the copyright, I don't want the bands the owners of the music. Let's just go to the owners of the music. Put the you advocated. I didn't read that, Ben. What was that?
He's like, so you're advocating that we drink when watching you on YouTube. Maybe you can get a beer sponsor.
I'm just saying it couldn't hurt.
That was my
line
what
I'm
on
saying.
stage. I always said that, Charles, on stage. I'm like, the more you drink, the better we sound.
It's like the band played. I made a couple of mistakes, but everybody was really drunk and nobody noticed. I'm okay with that. That's why you
like playing the dive bars. They're all hammered by the time you're playing the second set.
That's right. That's right. I would love to do that at least once. That would be really fun.
There's something about the synergy, Charles. It's like 4 guys or 5 guys on stage, but when it's perfectly synced up, right? And everyone's it's just it sounds like 20 people. And it's just
excellent.
This sound, it's like I don't know how to. It's like, I don't know, listening to a demo tape as opposed to a finished produced song. Demo tape, it's cool. But then when you hear the finished thing, you're like, wow. Oh, okay.
I got you. Right on. Right on.
What's up, 60 Cycle Steve? Great to see you.
60 Cycle Steve. I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Right on, man. Right on.
Yeah.
I wish.
Kind of.
Well, it would be nice to do that, but as far as the copywritten music,
yes,
I don't mind. It would be better rather than slapping everybody's hand and having the little police do this thing. Bands should have the choice whether they want their music put here and played on YouTube or not. And evidently there's some freedom there, behind the scenes of what we know, because I get away with 95% 98% of everything I play on my show, and we're talking straight up songs, rock, hard rock. Every once in a while I have an issue, but I would have no problem whatsoever paying a royalty fee to the artists whose song I want to use on my show.
I think that's my favorite album, sis. She just mentioned that her 16-year-old daughter owns a Crew album, Too Fast for Love. It's the best one, in my opinion.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because it's that stripped down punk rock thing.
Yeah.
And some of those songs, they're 60s rhythm and blues. Like, you listen to, I'm just like some of the stuff, it's almost 60s as there's a Motown esqueness to it. Like, they're very traditional the way they're arranged when Mick's playing the vocal lines and stuff like that. But yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which,
good music.
So, Charles, Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, 1983, apparently. November, middle of the month.
So the fire marshal came in about an hour before the very first of those shows. They had two Top Fuel funny cars, rail dragsters, on stage. And Tommy was trying to get them to fire them up.
I bet he was.
That
would sound ridiculous inside.
They almost did it. And, look, every once in a while those motors explode. It could have been a freaking horrible accident.
I'm aware. Yeah.
And I remember the fire. I was there for the first show. I saw the first show. I saw the third show. I showed up with a date to the third show. I got in a altercation. It was not my fault, with one of the biggest bouncers at the backstage door of the Santa Monica Civic on the third night. All I was trying to do was get to Gwen, who was inside the backstage, and I was outside, and Motley Crue had reached a level of popularity at that time where it was obvious they were going on tour. All the plans were there. It was being shouted across the airwaves, and I got my girlfriend back. Let's just put it that way. And but he was going to fire those things up. They were all set to do it, and then they were going to open the show to two Top Fuel funny cars sitting there idling with flames shooting out of the top. If I thought long enough, I could tell you the two funny cars. They were very well known, and the record label by that time, they were Elektra by that time. Elektra band, yeah,
I
Elektra.
believe so.
Yeah, it was Elektra, and so they had money behind them, and it was one of the very best Motley Crue shows I'd ever seen at that time. But they hit a whole nother level a year later. And within a year and a half later, Tommy was flipping upside down and rotating out across an audience.
What's up, R2, R3 Locking Nut?
R2, I love you, brother. Right on, man. Hope all is good with you, bro. Right on, man. Yeah, so,
That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I remember when I saw the shirt, Amanda was with me. Well, we were shopping at the place where I get my shirts, and I saw it, and I just saw it. I'm like, Santa Monica 19. I'm like, that's Charles is there. Like, I'm like, whether he was, any affiliation with the band, whatever. I'm like, either way, I'm like,
no.
Even if you just had a ticket to the show, you were there.
No. I was probably okay for that show. I was 5 months away from City of El Segundo Fire Department.
Right.
I was in fire school, paramedic training, this, that. There's a whole process that they went through in those days.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and then I turned to Amanda. I said, check out this shirt. I'm like, I got to get this. And then she's like, yeah. She's backing me up.
Yeah.
And then I remember because I was wearing it on a Monday show, and you popped in the chat. I'm like, hey, Charles, you're here. You're like, something involving your birthday, perhaps?
Right on, man. Very cool, man. Yeah. Quarter mile in 4 seconds. Actually, they used to have these, you old school guys here. I don't think they even do these anymore. I don't know if they do, but you guys will remember the peroxide burners, the rockets, the freaking rockets that shot out the
Yep.
18,
Not
20
budgie.
foot solid fire jet out the back, and they would reach speeds of, I believe, if I get this incorrect, close to 200 miles an hour and a quarter mile. Close to it, like 160. And so I was at Lions Drag Strip on the very last night that Lions was open, and they had like this special night, and they had 2 peroxide burners race, and I was at the finish line standing there with a beer about 20 to 30 feet off the edge of the backside of the grandstand. So the cars passed me going that fast, about maybe, let's say, 60, 80 feet away. I was not supposed to be there.
Right.
But nobody kept me from going there. I walked out there with my friend Gary, and holy shit, it lit the ground on fire in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
I'll never forget that shit. They went by, and about 15, 20 feet in front of us, a patch of grass lit on fire. And I looked at Gary, who is hitting his beer. And I said, bro, we need to get the hell out of here, man. And so we immediately, common sense kicked in. But, yeah, I don't know why I thought of that, brother.
Charles sharing
Right
Charles' channel. Charles.
Right on, brother. Very cool, man. What a community. What a flipping community. How about I play another song? You want to hear another song?
I would love to hear another song. How about that, folks?
Right.
Let's see.
I was gonna play this song on Ryan's show today if I had made it home on time, and I love supporting this community. I'm so sorry, you guys, but
Richard, Charles is wearing a
every week.
Fruitcake Tony t-shirt.
Yeah, this
Take
is
a
a
Fruitcake
Fruitcake
Tony.
Tony.
Now remember, you
vintage.
got to switch guitars for the other song. Let's not have a repeat of before the show, Charles. Guys, got track. He digs in. He's already go. He's off by half a step. And he goes, you know what happened? I'm like, I've been there, my friend, because I've had where we've changed tunings during shows, Charles. And me thinking, oh, I got time to switch guitars. You grab a drink, you forget to switch guitars, the song starts playing, and you're in the wrong tuning. You want to transpose live on stage, Charles? Because that's always fun. Not.
Talk about not gonna happen. Yeah, man, it was crazy. You know, hey, I'll give us this, Ben. At least you and I had enough common sense to realize I was in the wrong key. We got that going for us.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
and
we
that's
got
why
that
I
going
laughed.
for
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the situation because it was like, been there.
All right. So this this goes out to the OU812 boys. Love you guys. I was going to play this on your show today, Ryan, and damn it. Anyway, I love you guys. Right on. I'll see you in a few.
You talk too much. Never say what's on your mind. It's written on your face.
want to thank Mitch Heyman
Such
for
a
helping
rock
me
star.
set up my new guitar rig. I'm still working it out. This is a Helix Native. I got tired of fussing with bias effects. It just seemed that just to come in and pick a tone and use that tone every time on a show, I had to click 3-4 buttons. There's no reason to have to do that. I should be able to keep a preset. If I have a amp that I've selected, I should be able to keep that thing right in my face the whole time without having to go in and out and reselect it every time I come in. I should be able to make it my default tone so I'm not having to fuss with it. Also, the clarity, the crispness.
Eddie was asking, did Bernie Marsman write that guitar riff, or is it credited John Sykes?
So,
yes.
Okay.
But Bernie
Great,
did.
Eddie.
Bernie did write it, but
yes,
then
and Mickey Moody did as well. They both added to that song. The original version of that was a morph of the solo I just did. I used part of theirs.
I noticed that. I was like, which way are you going to go, Charles? And I liked what you did, because it was kind of.
You'll notice John Sykes even paid. Look, that song warrants an ass-kicking, blistering, crazy-ass solo. If any song does, it gets, but it doesn't have it. It has a melodic little thing in every variation of it. And it's been done on YouTube there's at least 7 guitar players who played that in Whitesnake that we can name. Okay? So all of them have a very similar version of that solo, almost like Bernie Marsden and Mickey Moody are fucking beloved in England. They are European gods in guitar. Rightfully so. For their input in the 70s, 60s and 70s. I can't take away from the 60s. They go back.
Even into the 80s.
They were old in the by 1990, they were getting old. They were like my age now, I believe, if I'm correct. I might be a little off, but not much. But that solo's a variation of it. It's not hard. I'm working right now with my guitar teacher on. He could throw a whole lot of different stuff at me, and he's given me a ton of information as far as
easy there, Steve.
Basic knowledge with guitar, and it's all theory. But the word theory sucks because it really means a lot. And if you don't realize what it means, you can take it negatively. Number one, it's very easy to do because it is a little complex and it's confusing. It's damn confusing. I wish I had learned my theory, Charles. If you're and that's the thing, you do. Yeah. And I'm glad I am.
Like I did learn some way back because I did take 2 years of guitar in high school, but that was in high school, Charles. And then immediately I said, I don't want that knowledge. I want to be a punk type thing. And
you always get the thing where if 3 guys in the room say, if 3 guys in the room you're with when you're a kid say, man, I don't need that fucking theory shit. I don't need that, man. My brother told me that this and that. But you believe him and you blow it off because it's work. It's work and it's painful. It's just some walk in the park. I'm learning to use all 4 fingers instead of 3, which is really hard to do because I want to play I want to play at the same speed using 4 fingers as I do with 3, but I can't because I can't articulate. I articulate like an infant doing the new stuff I'm learning. But a year from now, I will be so glad.
I've been playing since the 80s, and I only started playing lead guitar 6 months or so before I started my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I did it for a handful of songs, and I learned how to kind of noodle to sound like a new lead, but to actually play over song was very hard. And Eddie actually said, I wish my high school offered guitar lessons. It wasn't guitar lessons. It was classical guitar, which it wasn't so much lessons. Yeah. I was handed a binder and here, learn the material. And I hope you know how to read music. And fortunately, I was able to find tablature versions of stuff, which helped me immensely.
Well, there's tons of information out there, but I guess the biggest thing that I like about my guitar instructor is I'm coming into this from already having a little knowledge of how to do this and that. So he's not doing that thing where, some guitar teachers would, and I've heard stories from guys tell me this. In fact, it was part of the turnoff years ago when I thought about taking lessons. You got to start at square one. They're going to make you hold the guitar a certain way. They're going to make you put your fingertips directly on those fingers. They're going to teach you. And there's nothing wrong with that. When you're beginning to play guitar, you got to learn some certain basics that are going to help you in the future. It's common sense.
And not pick up bad habits that are going to hurt you down the road.
Thank you.
You don't realize it early on.
Bad habits.
Yeah.
My guitar playing is nothing but bad habits. It is. It's nothing but. I've just found the least obstructed road to get to what the tone and the lick I wanted to get to, or learn something I was interested in, because I'm just a product of YouTube. The amount of information that I did not get is mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing. But he started me off with sight reading. I literally have a ledger line with music on it. I have a guitar neck with 6 strings and standard tuning. I'm learning where the notes are on the guitar neck, all the major, all the whole notes, location within the boxes. So I have 5 shapes that I've been doing up and down that they're not your mode. It's not, well, I guess it technically would be a mode because, it's a mode. Modes are different things. The term mode is very deceiving. However, I'm learning how to do what would maybe, let's say, your 4th shape in the pentatonic, but I'm doing it depending on what key I'm in at various places on the neck, where I'm playing only the whole notes with no sharps or flats. And I'm doing it on the other hand, where there's a couple of locations, several locations on the neck where you can do entire runs of nothing but sharps or flats. Sharp and flat is the same note. It just depends on what the key signature calls for.
And it depends if you're ascending in the scale, it's a sharp. If you're descending, which is like ascending is usually a major, and descending chords is a minor. It'll sound minor, and that's when you use flats. If you're descending, use flats. If you're ascending, use sharp. See, I know some theory, but it's like, it's like, because in classical guitar, like the first year was basically just called beginner guitar, Charles. We're going to show you some chords, okay? And literally, the final exam of year 1 was play the intro to Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, wow.
That was my final exam for year 1. Year 2 was, here's a binder. The teacher says, you're learning on your own, because I'm teaching the beginner class again at the same time frame. So it was only a handful of us that took the course. You're handed a binder that you basically had to learn, and there's a concert in 3 months, and you need to know these 3 or 4 pieces of music to perform in a concert setting.
Were there any lessons between then to teach you the music you were learning, or what is it?
Very little. We helped each other, and the teacher would come in and touch base. Like, once he got the other class coming, he'd come in and touch base kind of thing. He's like, okay, is there anything you're struggling on? You're like, yes, like this chord progression here. Is there an easier way to do it? Because I'm playing it like this. And he'd be like, yes, actually, if you change your shape and you go here, but you have to switch and blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, because like learning green sleeves.
Wow.
That was on it.
That's no fun.
Was an easy
That's
one.
No fun.
But Ode to Joy was okay until it's like, okay, we all have to split up and harmonize it now. They play it as an ensemble because we're playing as a chord or a guitar ensemble. I was like, holy fuck, all right. So, who gets the? It's like singing harmony, right?
How old were you?
Room with 3 singers, girls. We can't all sing the same notes in the chorus.
This was high school,
are you going
right,
to? Are you going to sing the straight note? Okay, I'm going to harmonize you on a 3rd. Another guy's going to harmonize you on the 5th, and that's why. Oh, I sound like the Beach Boys. Yeah, because they fucking chose. That's what it's all about. You're creating a chord with your voices.
Were you in high school at this time? High school, right?
That was my second. That was grade 12. And literally, I think the class started with 7, and they ended up with 3 within a month because people just bailed out and took other courses. And then we literally brought in ringers, hired guns, if you will, Charles, because you can't go out and play in an auditorium with 3 classical guitars unmiked. Nobody's going to hear it. Nope. So we brought in, I think the teacher sat in, and I want to say 2 or 3 other friends of mine came in, and they were just handed the pieces of music, Charles. You learn it at home because you're not even part of the course. You just show up at the concert night. Maybe they sat in for a couple rehearsals,
Wow.
because they're taking other classes during school, but they're competent guitar players. Like one guy, when I met him in grade
high
9,
school.
oh, this guy was great, Charles. I met this guy in grade 9. He had an RG 550, desert yellow, right? Beautiful. Learning all, he was into all the Sunset Strip stuff in grade 9. By the end of grade 9, he got into Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
By grade 11, he started going backwards and learned all the Richie Blackmore and Yngwie and blah, blah, blah. By the end of grade 11, he'd given up on rock music and he's already started into jazz.
Wow.
And I'm like, whoa, okay. So we were able to just, here's 4 songs. Show up at this time and date. He's like, done.
Wow.
Wow.
You guys were
last
lucky.
time I
You
saw
were very
him,
lucky.
he was playing about 15 years ago. He was full-blown chicken picker.
Wow.
Like he moved on to
he
that.
totally changed.
Again.
Yeah,
But then he'll be like, hey, send me the vertical cell phone style video, Charles, he'll just set it up. He goes, and it'll be him with his old RG 550. He goes, hey, Ben, remember when I do this? And he'd just be sweet picking. Remember I used that in high school? Good times. Like, yeah, I love you, buddy. Click. I'm like, and then at work, I'm like, why do we even play guitar, Charles? Why? It's just like,
I will never play like that.
Yeah, I just like,
I will never play. Ever. It's
he's
not in me. It's just not in me. I suppose if you and I had a conversation one day and you were like, check this sweet picking out, and you did it like totally proficiently, and you were like, check this out, and you did it, you might spark an interest in me to try to do it, but it's not something. Okay, I'm going to say something here, and I don't mean that. If you're an Yngwie fan out there, I don't mean this in a negative way. I've seen Yngwie live.
What's up, Mark Taft?
I appreciate his prowess. But
Mark Taft in the house.
Give me 15 minutes of Yngwie, and I'm about done. Okay? I'm about done. And I would take Angus Young over Yngwie.
Yes.
To listen to for the rest of my life in half a second. Just because it's not about all the notes. It's about the way they're played, the way they are fucking played. That's really all it is. But I don't mean that as a slight on Yngwie. I sounded like one. I don't mean it that way. His prowess is incredible. My God. And I liked him back in the old days a whole lot more than I do now. Back before Yngwie, the old days.
Yeah, and different tastes, obviously. But yeah, I've seen different people do that through the year. Like, you'll hate your jazz face. No. I maybe, but doubtful because there's a lot of stuff I still need to learn before I get there, and I know my brain capacity and my ability to learn, and I'm more the way I learn theory now, Charles. Is someone will say, hey, do you know this kind of theory? And I'll say no, and they'll go like, yeah, you do. I've seen you play on a Monday. And then they'll explain when I'm playing this song, how I'm doing this. Yeah, well, that's this. And you're like, oh. So until someone pushes it into my face and explains it to me, like for the cage system, right? Like saying, playing the same notes in different spots on the fretboard, right? Whereas when I was playing in bands, we called that Ace Frehleying it. Like, because Kiss was famous for Paul would play down in the first position, a heavy rock chord, and Ace Frehley would play the same thing an octave up. So or vice versa on occasion. So we called it Ace Frehleying it.
Well, on my show, I made a statement. I was talking about the lessons I was taking just briefly, and I made a statement that my instructor's familiar with the cage system, and I have specifically asked him, look, let's just stay away from that for right now. I'm focusing. I have a lot I'm working on. There's a lot of sides to that guitar mountain, and I'm over here doing this. I don't need any more info right now. I'm kind of overwhelmed, and I'm working out what I have. And I'm working it out great, so I'm comfortable. That's what I mean to say. I'm comfortable.
Sure.
But that cage fucking system is in everything he's teaching me right now.
Well,
he doesn't know that I know it, and
right.
I'm waiting for him to mention it, and I'm going to go, ha ha. And I'm gonna, because everything I'm doing is the case. The case system is in everything. It's an explanation of how
rock
things
music
move
it like
within
not
themselves on the neck
rock and roll
at
even
different
like
points.
if you play power chords, that's the cage system because you're moving that chord shape around.
Yeah.
You know, because you're either playing
But-
E's or A's essentially.
It's specifically about the rotation of sharps and flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 across the whole neck. But I'm learning it, but I'm not learning it directly. I'm learning it indirectly. One fragment here, one fragment there. And at some point down the road, I'll link those fragments. It'll happen arbitrarily. What I've noticed a lot is what I used to do, and I'm trying not to do it, is if I'm in E minor and I'm at the 12th fret playing within the E minor pentatonic box, let's call it shape. Okay, well, one note difference coming off of that low E string makes it an A minor rather than E minor. Mm-hmm. And just a couple of notes within that pentatonic changed it to A minor from E minor. And it's only one, it's actually, if you're in the upper registry playing the first 3 strings, it's just one note. But it makes all the difference in the world because it's a dirty note that's not supposed to be there. Now, I get away with it if I'm playing fast because nobody hears it. But I know it's there now. Actually, it's not there anymore. I took it out.
Right.
So that's
similar to what we were talking about,
you know,
off air when we're doing the sound check, folks. We did slide it in, and you say like it's almost like reminds me again of Rolling Stones, Dealer's Choice. Like which chord variant do you play? Because there's 2 guitars that don't play it the exact same. Yeah. So
they're in harmony. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's like, oh, you're playing it wrong. Am I?
Yeah.
Or you know, it depends on. Yeah. Are you talking about your left ear or your right ear, folks?
Yeah. Which is the backing track I just did, the part I took out would have been technically it would have been on that one. That was Adrian Vandenberg and John Sykes.
Right.
I took John Sykes out, so I was playing what I could.
Right.
I can't do Sykes well. He's so fucking good. But I was doing his part, and some of the overlap was Adrian Vandenberg, who I saw a bunch of times with Whitesnake. He was like a constant factor for many years. Mm-hmm. While, you know, the heavy lead, they're both lead guitar players. Adrian Vandenberg is a fucking phenomenal guitar player. It's just that, you know, when John Sykes, or I've seen him with Steve Vai, I saw him with
Bernie Marsden?
No. Didn't see him with Bernie, but I saw him with Vivian Campbell once.
Okay.
Let's see who else. Oh God, there's Doug Aldrich.
Okay. I was like, it reminds me. It's like the Canadian band Helix. I swear, every pro guitar player in Canada has been the guitar player for Helix at one time or another.
Yeah.
It's just,
and I like the Reb Beach. Reb Beach for that matter. Now there's a good example of 2 guitar players who either one could be plugged into the lead guitar position. And Whitesnake at that time, they went into another level of stuff. I call it adult hard rock. That's what I call it. Forevermore. Yeah, the album Forevermore. It came out like 10 years ago.
I want to give a special shout out to Mark Half there. Mark's giving you a shout out there, Charles. So
right on, Mark.
It's good to see you made it in.
Right on, Mark. It's good to see you too, bro, man. This is a great community. This is a great place to be. Mm-hmm. Guitars are fun. Guitars are fun.
And frustrating and fun and
oh my goodness. Ben, we've been going for about an hour and a half, and I have family. My daughter Casey and
I was going to say I was going to wrap up
Nick,
at the bottom of the hour here.
They're in town. I want to go love on them some. I don't get to see enough of them. They're
exactly.
out here from Texas right now.
We're at the bottom of the hour, which is perfect. So we got here a couple songs tonight, and dare I say, sweet 17th appearance next time.
Right on, man. Ben, thank you
Always
so
look forward
much.
to it.
You know, I have a great history with you. It is just absolutely special in my world. I really appreciate it.
Years. Always
I
there
really
for you, brother.
appreciate it. Right on, man. Right on. Love you guys in the chat, and I will see you real soon, man. Right on.
Awesome. I'll be back tomorrow night with Canucks with guitars. I'll be playing some songs. Backing tracks,
Right on.
no, because I'm not that fancy. But I'm going to play through that amplifier and that amplifier real loud. We got her up to well over 100 decibels in here on occasion, Charles. I'm just saying.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Pants shaking volume. And I don't know what guitar I'm going to play tomorrow night. We'll figure that out tonight. Because with the seasons changing, I might have to do a setup on the guitar prior to tomorrow night's show. So I'll see you tomorrow night. So hold those doors open,
bro.
Let I don't know, Dave Chase in ahead of you in traffic. Why not?
Why not?
And be good to each other. Because karma is real. Believe me. Doug will tell you he's married to her. And happy tone chasing. Be good to each other, and of course, don't litter.